a northern port in the United Kingdom, more Canadian reinforcements arrive. In thousands they pour in to back up their comrades in arms on southern and western fronts. For some it is the first glimpse of the mother country. Others are returning after a tour of duty in Canada. From the quayside, all proceed to reinforcement units. Here they undergo battle training to fit them for immediate frontline service. Tactics are reviewed, and then it's over the hurdles to toughen for action. Although all have qualified in basic training, the course is repeated and augmented. There can never be too much range practice. A man's rifle or Bren gun is his best friend. Training is carried out in all weapons. When they go to relieve their countrymen in a theater of action, the reinforcements will arrive ready for battle. School tanks are used to support infantry as in actual combat. The latest ideas mastered in operational theaters are taught by veteran instructors. Training is made to closely resemble the real thing. When the last big push comes, the Canadian Army will have a large pool of fully trained reinforcements to see it through. The 2nd Canadian Field Hygiene Section in Italy fills a tall order. Their job is to see that the health of the 1st Canadian Division is not endangered by lack of sanitation in the field. Water for drinking and cooking is a big problem. When a water point is established, it is carefully tested. The right amount of chlorine is added to rid the water of harmful impurities. Unit water trucks are given chemical checks. It is the duty of the hygiene section to establish water points close to forward units. They keep the precious fluid chemically fit for use by the troops. Another task of the Field Hygiene Section is to disinfect civilian clothing and blankets. When a town is taken over, the section investigates all sanitary conditions. Bedding and wearing apparel is brought to the disinfester. Live steam forced through the material kills whatever insects happen to be in them. In 15 minutes, they come out sweet and clean. In a frontline town, civilians often have to live underground for weeks. To lessen the danger of a typhus epidemic spreading to the army, they too must be disinfested. Again, the hygiene section is on the job. Chemical powder may be ticklish, but it sure gets results. A branch of the Royal Canadian Army Medical Corps, the Field Hygiene Section is a very active unit. In Italy, where sanitation is very poor, many lives are saved by its vigilance, which would otherwise be lost through filth and disease. In the land of wooden shoes, it's all aboard for the opening game of the newly formed International Hockey League. The advance party gets on the scene early to clear the boards for action. 2 artificial ice rinks have been opened up in Holland. On their fresh, fast surfaces, Canada's national game is played a la Maple Leaf Gardens. The Hollanders know a thing or two about ice hockey. The Canucks, of course, have all either played for the Montreal Maroons or the Detroit Red Wings, or they have a brother on the team. That is what they tell you, and of course, Canadian soldiers never exaggerate. Or do they? The opening game is an exhibition affair. A pickup team from BC swings into an early 2-goal lead over the Puckmasters of Tilburg. If any scouts from the Pro League happen to be around, They're getting an eyeful of some likely big-time stickmen in action. Private Johnny gets the rubber. He's at center. He's across the blue line. He shoots. He scores. That ends the game. The tally Canadians 8, Tilburg 2. The Hot Stove League gathers after the victory to discuss further games in the International Hockey League Mark II. A winter snow classic of a new type is run in Holland. At the post are the entries in a sledge pulling contest. It's something like trotting races, only the drivers are little Dutch girls, and the horses are big Canadian sergeants. The track is fast. For every step you take forward, you slide back too. There are thrills and spills galore and some grand prizes as bait. Due to the number of entries, 2 heats are run. All the heat is under the collar and trying to negotiate the hairpin turn. With an overfed horse and an underfed driver, the going is tough. The winner of the second heat and his driver are ready for the final runoff. Away they go, while the spectators give plenty of support to their favorite combination. The grand prize goes to the winning team. A pair of golden klumpen is a treasured trophy of the event. Consolation prizes in the form of scads of chocolate bars are heartily received by all. Nobody worries about being a loser with candy being handed around. Even Skinny, who laid an egg in the race, gets a precious booby prize. Heavy snow and freezing weather in the west failed to cover traces of the September airborne landing. Dozens of gliders, visited only by rabbits and inquisitive soldiers, dot the landscape. They lie as broken memorials to the great drive for the Reich border. Troops are right at home in winter quarters. Lessons learned in the Canadian bush are put to excellent use. Even hot running water is available, sometimes. Although the bedroom is only a pump tent, it's home sweet home, and there are no complaints. Patrols and snipers are briefed before moving out into no man's land. The latest in snowsuits are donned to camouflage the position of riflemen. Daytime recce's mark landmarks and terrain. Night fighters follow the markings. They handle most of the battle patrols, and they're out to do a job on Jerry. Snipers of the Régiment de Chaudière worm their way to a forward vantage point. At a distance, their suits blend perfectly with the snow. They are thus able to take up positions directly overlooking the enemy and carve more notches in the butts of their busy rifles. Action flares up on the Moz River as infantry go forward, supported by a steel wall of tanks. In a 2-hour operation, 1 company of infantry is supported by 3 field regiments of artillery and 3 regiments of armor. A typical Montgomery barrage is laid down as elbow-to-elbow Canadian tanks throw over a fiery sheet of lead. Fighting armor so close together is only feasible with complete control of the air. The Luftwaffe has worries in another direction, attempting to keep Stalin's stalwarts out of Berlin. Canadian armor is thus left free to pound forward from the west.